It's Tehatchapod time. Key Budge, Greg Garrett, Ashley Whitmore. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
Doing well. It's nice to have you as we're wrapping up our 5th season. This one, I don't know if it'll be our last show, but this is going to be one of the final shows for our 5th season here in 2024 as we approach 6 years of doing this podcast.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I remember the day we started our first podcast, we had a microphone we passed around. I'm not sure what we did.
Yeah, it was that basic.
Yeah, for sure. We've come a long way, baby. That's what they say.
I'd be curious to listen to,
Oh, no, don't.
Well, if you are curious, you can go back. All of the seasons are still available. So if you really want to take a deep dive,
there you go.
They're there.
And we have Ashley today because she, in her role, she wears several hats at the city of Tehachapi, but in one of her roles, she's the airport manager. And so with that, we have Kern County Fire Department, and they welcomed a new helicopter into their fleet today.
Wildland Division Chief Andy Kendison, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
Engineer John Drucker, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It's nice to have you guys. So, so Andy, this is a bird this new helicopter that's here. This is the new crown jewel that's under your lead in your department.
Yeah, it's a big step forward for us. Our two Hueys, they're getting towards the end of their usable service life, and especially in the fashion we fly them. We're flying utility missions. We're really pulling max lift. We really use our aircraft in that utility fashion versus just putting it up in the air and doing some light flying. And so we recognized several years ago that the time had come to find a suitable replacement, and then October of this year, our oldest helicopter actually had a fractured bulkhead, which is a known issue with these aircraft, but it retired our first helicopter 408. And so it just kind of all came together that the new helicopter was put in motion February of 23, officially was passed by the board, and the contract was signed with Bell Helicopters to purchase the 412 EPX. And and then, like I said, our oldest helicopter was retired, and today we got to welcome our new one.
And so, Key, these two Hueys that you're referring to, they're Vietnam-era helicopters that we received through certain channels, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But they're used for firefighting, right?
Yes.
So wildland fires in Kern County, in the mountains of Kern, in the valleys of Kern County, and then beyond throughout the state. So it's an amazing tool, an asset that is part of the portfolio of Kern County Fire Department. So let's talk a little bit, maybe, I think the listener would be interested to hear about, the Huey, the Vietnam era helicopters. Let's talk about that a little bit and how you guys repurpose them into firefighting apparatus.
Absolutely, yeah. The Huey is a legendary aircraft. The Army revolutionized the use of helicopters in Vietnam. This was one of those helicopters used for that purpose near the end of the war in 1967. It served well over 1,000 hours in country in Vietnam, and it did several thousand hours still in military service back home in the States before it was retired, and then mothballed in Los Alamitos till the 90s when we had it. But yeah, like I said, the military really proved just the utility use of these helicopters. And so when they went federal excess in the 90s, the fire agencies were quick to pick them up, repurpose them, put fire water dropping tanks on the bottom, hoist rescue equipment on the side of it for hoist rescue, and put them to work doing the mission. So, and it definitely did that for us since 2000. 408, has been in service until 2024.
It has changed the kind of the approach to firefighting in certain aspects. And I know you spoke today at the ribbon cutting, let's say, and you were referring to past employees that started this historic moment that we celebrated today. Let's talk about a little bit about the employees that had the vision, to start, adding a helicopter to the fleet.
Yeah, absolutely. I was lucky enough to come on the job in 2002 at the end of the year, and my mentor, I came from Long Beach as an explorer and had family in the fire service down there, but I really didn't know much about Kern County, and I had a mentor who was a Region 1 OES chief. He was retired LA Fire. He said, "Oh, Kern County, that's a great place to go work. You should take that interview, go up there." So I did, but I was shocked to find out when I got a job here how much we took for granted in the Southern California Fire Service. Kern County, we had an awesome fire department, but there was a lot of things like our USAR team at the time was actually donated The funding was donated by a nonprofit that we had just to fund that program. And in the same fashion, our air program, without the federal excess program, the ability to get the airframes to our department, and then it took them several years to get the money together to have the aircraft outfitted for firefighting and rescue. I mean, it was really a grassroots effort by the people who were into it on the ground. Mm-hmm. They found the aircraft, they pitched the idea to fire department staff, got the approvals, got the aircraft here, and then, they did the heavy lift to get us to where we are today, to where we can. It's almost like we had the easy job of just saying, yeah, it's a successful program, we should keep supporting it, let's get a new aircraft, versus they had to build it from nothing.
Well, thank goodness for the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then USAR is Urban Search and Rescue?
Right, yes.
Okay. And then, so it's not only just for firefighting, but it's been used rescue.
Oh, yeah, heavily. Yeah. Especially up here in Tehachapi.
It always seems like there's someone that's gone off into a mountain park and gone off trail and who comes to the rescue?
Red Rock Canyon, the Kern Canyon, the Kern River Canyon, those sorts of things, yeah.
Definitely.
So let's talk about what we celebrated today. Tell us about the new helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a surreal day. We started the process in 2021 in July. We got a chance to, here in Tehachapi, we hosted Bell Helicopters. They brought out the EPX, which was a brand new variant of the 412 helicopter. They released it in 2020. So not a whole lot of fire agencies were using it. And we got a chance to have it here, fly it. And we realized quickly, like, this is probably what we need to change out with our Hueys. And as we did more research and went down the path over the past few years, this is the aircraft we need. And then we went into securing the funding and then identifying the kits and customizing, which is a huge list. If I had the window sticker for it, Greg, it would have been, it's like 3 pages long.
Oh, I bet.
So there's a lot of legwork there to just get to where we were today, where it kind of all came together. It's here. Our pilots and crews are training with it. We're going to be ready to have it on missions very soon.
Very nice.
It's very cool, too, because the Huey's been always, based down in Keene. Your maintenance facility's up at Tehachapi Airport, which is awesome. But now this new helicopter is actually going to be in Tehachapi.
Well, when you buy something new, you always keep it in the garage.
Yep.
Right? And so we have hangars at the airport, so we appreciate you being here in the city. The partnership continues to get stronger and stronger.
Absolutely.
All the time. And Ashley, we need to work on a new helibase.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. For the listeners that don't realize this too, our airport has been used oftentimes as a base when there is a fire, whether it's ours or it's Mountain Valley Airport. We're really lucky as a community to be able to have that asset up
Kern
there.
County Fire, CAL FIRE, and others utilize the Tehachapi Municipal Airport for base operations during fires that are in and around Tehachapi. So, Key, they might not even be here. You might not be able to see them, but, you could maybe see the smoke, 20, 30 miles away from here. But we're happy to host.
That's awesome.
And the crews, so your 408 crew is going to train on the new 409. So how many hours of time do they need to make that transition and understand how the new equipment works?
Yeah. So at this point, our pilots and maintenance staff have already gone to Bell for their schooling. Essentially, there's just weeks and weeks and weeks of schooling, especially on the maintenance side. I mean, this thing it's the features on it. It's just unbelievable how deep they have to go. So that's kind of been done. And where we're at now is the Bell pilots come to us and we do a minimum of 8 hours per pilot before they're fully signed off. And then that's just the starting point. Then they're going to fly as much as we can to just get them to that level of proficiency, because not to toot our own horn, but this is the real deal up here. This is mountain flying. It's very dangerous. They do a lot of night flying in terrain, in the wire environment, in the timber, and so the margin for error is very small. So they train just constantly, and just more so now because it's a new aircraft, new to our pilots. So.
No, John, you're the PIO for Kern County Fire, and you're probably going to start to receive a lot of questions about, not just this helicopter, but maybe people are very interested in this portion of what you do, the service that you guys deliver to this great county.
Yeah, it's true, and it's exciting because not only can we, shuttle equipment and stuff, but it's going to have the hoist rescue capabilities that you guys have talked about, and then come fire season, we're going to be able to fly water all over the county, and we're going to be able to get there faster. We're going to have a heavier payload, which means more water getting there faster, and the helicopter actually makes it first on scene of a lot of wildfires. And so they're our first piece of equipment getting there. And it's exciting that it's up here in Tehachapi right now. that means fires, on this end of the county are getting very quick attention from
So when
the
you say
helicopter.
first on scene, I know down in Keene we have the, I'll say, Helitac crew, bunch of young men and women. They're this hand crews. Would this helicopter potentially take them to the fire and drop them off so they can work the front lines quickly and then start shuttling water back and forth?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ways that we use our helicopters is shuttling a crew to the fire. And one of the ways that we can use them is we can fly personnel to the fire, drop them off, and then go grab water. And then, we can leapfrog, meaning the firefighters can cut fire line and the helicopter can drop water and they can just kind of leap past one another and do hotlining, if you will, and really make quick progress.
And then if somebody
those
needs to be
fires.
extracted because the fire is surrounding them, let's say, they could do that too, right? So they're
Absolutely.
really, it's a
There's a
safety
safety.
net in the sky.
That's correct. I mean, you always feel better when there's a helicopter on scene. They're your eyes above you. So that's a huge safety element to have that the eyes above you, and then the medevac resources should something happen.
So
well.
it's a single pilot, is that right?
Yeah, this is a single pilot
Single
aircraft.
pilot, and then plus pilot plus how many seatbelts, I guess?
Well, you
Or
you could fly up to 12 people
up
on the
to 12
aircraft.
people.
Wow.
But the first thing they do, they look at the weather for the day, and they look at what's called density, altitude, temperature of the day, humidity, elevation you're flying, and then depending on the mission, they'll have varying levels of fuel, varying levels of water, personnel, depending on what they're trying to accomplish. So, for example, if it was a fire close by, and you're not going to fly personnel to that, they'll pull a very full load of water right off the bat. Versus the White Fire this year, for example, the Helitac guys were the first ones on scene, and so they flew to that with no water on board and more personnel and equipment.
Okay. So the pilot is, quick on his feet. He's got to be running a lot of math in his head.
Oh yeah. They do. They look at the weather constantly, and the morning briefing every day. They kind of outline that.
And this is a twin jet
It's
engine?
it's a twin engine. It's a Pratt and Whitney twin pack. Yeah, it's a lot more powerful, and there's about 2,000 pounds more usable load on this helicopter than the one it's replacing.
State of the art.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you about intel gathering. Is there any? I know that you guys at the fire department, you're fighting these fires. You're in tough areas that you can't get to. Does this aircraft assist you in intel gathering? Do you have special gear that's assigned that helps you, whether it's mapping or just looking? I know you've got the topography maps, but what's the intel that you can gather?
Well, we're pretty fortunate in California. We have the intel ships, the state intel ships. So as far as like the mapping mission goes, and a lot of people have watch duty now, and so you'll actually get the images from those aircraft from that. But when it comes to reconnaissance and intel gathering, we use the aircraft a lot. One of the most common missions we have is our early summer lightning busts that come through. One of the things we do sometimes is if the weather clears up and it starts to get dark, under night vision goggles, you can see small fires in the mountains. So it's not thermal, but just those small fires and the flickering they put up. If the crew is flying under NVG, they can pick those out, and so we can detect small fires in the evening before they become problems. And so-
Technology is pretty cool. You had mentioned also a big spotlight, so you can fly at night. If somebody's lost, maybe you can
Absolutely.
help to find them. Those sorts of things.
Yeah, that's a new toy we got. It's actually called the Night Sun.
Night Sun.
And for good reason. I mean, we were told.
Don't look directly into the light,
No.
otherwise you're.
We were
Right,
told by the guys who built it that once upon a time they accidentally flipped it on when not ours, thankfully, but someone else's when they were installing one, and they melted a trash can that was like 10 foot away. Wow! So it's
Wow.
you
So
can't.
it's not an LED Christmas light.
No. It's the Christmas star.
I did have the opportunity once, Key, a couple years ago. You guys were doing some flight training up in the Capitol Hills area, and you had your night vision goggles out, and the pilot let me put the night vision goggles on. You cannot believe how many stars there are in the sky. Like, you don't even have a clue, right? You look up at night and you see stars. If you put on night vision, holy moly.
Yeah.
There's trillions. It's just forever and ever. It's quite remarkable. So anyway, the technology is amazing, and again, state of the art. So I'm really happy and proud as a city manager that Kern County Fire leadership, Chief Duncan, the Kern County supervisors, and your team, identified a need and are investing in the future of our city. We have in our community. We have wildfire is a problem in California because of forest management and different things that have been happening over the years. And this is our response locally to keeping Kern County safe. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Now, does all of your pilots, do they get trained on this, or is it just the ones that'll be assigned to it, or do you cross train everybody?
Yeah, the whole intent, because this aircraft is going to be operated by all of our pilots, so they're all going through the training. Yep.
When you say all of your pilots, how many helicopter pilots does Kern County employ?
We typically have 3 full-time and then anywhere between 3 to 5 extra help. So pilots that have other jobs. We have some folks that come from CAL FIRE. They have full-time jobs. And in their off days, they might fill in or backfill behind a sick leave or something like that.
You know. So you're cycling one of your Hueys out. So you'll have a Huey and now this new ship. So still 2 helicopters. How many, top of your head, I know this changes, but fire crew down in Keene, how many hand crew employees do we employ?
Yeah, the hand crew, Crew 12 works out of Keene, and this last year they started with 23 members. So,
and does that grow as the summer comes online, or is that about a full staff?
Typically, the way the hand crews work is they'll start with the highest number, and then you'll lose a few folks throughout the year. They might get a job elsewhere, or they leave for a variety of reasons. But generally, we have a lot of, as far as the hand crew program goes, a lot of folks stay. It's really a rewarding program, and a lot of young people love it because it's a great place to start if you're interested in fire and emergency services.
So both of my sons, Key, Levi and Tanner. So Levi was on the hand crew and went on to become a helicopter pilot because he was very inspired by that. And then Tanner, my youngest son, he's now a Kern County firefighter. But I reflect back to in our school systems, and this is no judgment on local school district, but it seems like over the last couple decades, Key and Ashley, the school districts have shied away from welding, wood shop, auto shop, those sorts of things. And with your hand crew, I know Levi and Tanner, they went on to higher education also, but they learned so much about, handling small engines, chainsaws, hiking for miles, when you're developing a young man, that's part of it. So thank you again for that. I think that you guys do a great job helping to mold the youth.
Oh, thank you.
That's not why we're here. I mean, we're talking about helicopters, but
it's true.
I wanted to throw that in because I've repeated that many times over the years.
And Greg, I'm a beneficiary of that very point that you're making.
Okay.
With the Kern County Fire Hand Crews.
Right. So you were part of that system years ago, and now you're full-fledged Kern County firefighter.
Yeah, 4 years with the crews. In fact, the last year was on 408 back in 2004. And what you're saying with the small motors, learning different work ethic, learning how to be responsible, learning how to pay attention to safety,
respect.
Yes,
just
respect
on and on and on
for authority, following orders,
right? Those
types of things, super important. And I was just a young buck, and so. Yeah, it's a great way to mentor people. It's a great way to teach them work ethic, and a great way to be reviewing employees for the future,
right,
while they're in a seasonal role.
Right. So kind of a quasi-military. Working within a team, all those things that makes the community stronger, the country smarter. I kind of got off on a little tangent there. But,
Not a bad tangent.
wipe a tear from my eye.
Well, something I wanted to ask, and something I recognized from today's press conference, but it was really a ceremony, is what it was. You retired 408 and you welcomed in 409. But I want to go back to the 408 because the history that you guys pulled, it being a Vietnam era, bird to start, but we have share that story about the personnel that has the connection to 408 and the history of it.
Oh yeah, we had a few retirees attend today, which was awesome to see because it was kind of put together on short order. The aircraft actually arrived on Friday. 408's kind of been out of service in an evaluation phase since October, but we're like, Christmas is coming. Let's have an event. But today we had a former mechanic of ours who everybody loved, and but come to find out, we found out a few years back that he actually served in the Army on 408 when it was in Vietnam in 1967.
Small world.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And he was very proud to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about that history, we're going back, 60 years?
Duncan gave
it was
a
amazing.
really good, Chief Duncan, I should
Yes.
say. Chief Duncan gave a really good history lesson on Helicopter 408.
Yeah.
It was great to listen to that.
It's kind of interesting how, and John can speak to it too because he worked on it, but it's not very often that a piece of equipment kind of gets this personification. It becomes a living thing.
Right.
And 408's always just been, well, that's 408, and then when the bulkhead cracked and the tough decision was made we were going to retire it soon, but it was a little premature. But because of the repair costs and just the time frame, that was the end of its life for us. There was a sadness in the air. It's like, oh my gosh, it's done working.
But what a true testament to the engineering back in the day, right? Back in the 60s, where these engineers quickly designed helicopters. It's like the P-51 Mustang in World War II, right? You quickly do something. And it was an amazing piece of equipment, and 408 serving us until just a week ago, quite frankly. It's quite amazing. Decades.
And 2,400 plus fires. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how many lives saved because of that asset and those people.
Mm-hmm.
People are assets too, but, the dedication to saving lives and saving property.
I think we're at 20, I believe the number is 26 people hoist rescued in 2024.
Just in 1 year.
That's in 1 year.
Wow.
And was it this last year that you said 3 of those were firefighters?
No, when the chief talked about the 4, those are 4. 2 of those were, I forget what year it was. We actually had a vehicle overcome with water in Caliente Creek, Patrol 11. So we had to hoist rescue 2 firefighters from the top of the vehicle, and then there was 2 other separate incidents. One where we had a firefighter fall off a ledge in the dark and break his back, and another time where a firefighter took a rock to the head. Thankfully, they all recovered, but it was all instrumental in getting them out of those bad situations.
Well, the logistics of saving somebody, on a mountaintop with a helicopter or without a helicopter, it's a complete different story, right? How do you get there and get them down? And, the airship has really saved lives. That's awesome.
So with welcoming 409, I know with our new engine that came to Station 12, you guys pushed it in, and I was asking, kind of teasing you out there. But is there anything when you're welcoming a new airship into the fleet? Is there any kind of tradition or history? I know they break a bottle on a boat before it launches. Is there anything?
We did joke about the bottle thing, but that aircraft skin's a little thin. But,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't break it. It's brand new.
I think the thing we're looking forward to most is that first water drop.
Okay.
Let's do that at Tehachapi Airport.
We can
Drop
do that.
some water, right? So we'll have a little event.
Yeah.
Right along the taxiway or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's the ribbon
That'd
cutting.
be cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dust mitigation.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to, that's, let's make that happen.
Okay, so it's
Sounds
a done
good.
deal, right?
Okay, yeah.
You guys agree? Okay.
I love it.
We'll let Chief Duncan know.
Start the new tradition. There we go. The new tradition launched right here.
There you go.
Thanks to Tehachapi.
There you go. I don't think we'll do another one anytime soon because these things are very expensive, but
no.
they maintain and use them well. So
And it's a part of the training, obviously, is they've got to, that's something they're going to have to use. So why not do it and let public display? And how many gallons would it drop? If it's full?
Yeah, 375.
375 gallons of water.
Yep. Which is it makes a dent. It makes a dent. It's a medium aircraft, so it delivers 375 gallons. It has the hoist rescue equipment on it. When you look at some of the larger aircraft out there, like the Black Hawk helicopters, those typically deliver 1,000. And then we had this year in Tehachapi, we had the Whitefire. And so I'm sure I know the people over in Cummings Valley got buzzed quite a bit because those make quite a bit of noise and they fly at night. But those CH-47s that were here, those dropped 3,000.
Wow.
So they drop water. They're not fire retardant.
No,
right?
those.
Can you utilize that, or is that a whole different system, if you will?
Yeah, our helicopter won't be delivering retardant, but those big ones, the CH-47s, those do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
Well, this is exciting. I mean, if we're Tehachapi, we've got a new, did a Station 13 get a new rig, or is it just 12s?
Just 12 so far.
Okay, so 12s.
I know Roseman got a new rig.
Yep.
New fire engine, I should say.
Mojave.
Not long
Mojave?
ago.
Yeah,
Mojave
Mojave did as
received
well.
new.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the continued investment.
There's been, last time I heard, it was in the last 3 years, over $25 million invested in equipment. I mean, it's always an ongoing struggle in an apartment as large as ours. It almost never ends. As soon as you get around to replacing the last one, the first one you started with, you have to look at, okay, how many miles on that, but there's been a lot of investment.
And I know that other counties around us look to Kern for assistance also, right? You guys go help others, hundreds of miles away. And you're not leaving a hole here because you're leaving what you need here in our county, of course, but you're helping other counties when they're in distress.
Yeah. We send help and we definitely receive help. Locally, we had just a very busy fire season early this year, and surrounding us, there wasn't much going on. So early in the season, we received a lot of help. And then most recently, we've been very quiet, thankfully, knock on wood. But, the Malibu fire, we sent bulldozers, we sent overhead, we sent hand crews, we sent engines down there to help. So California has a very strong mutual aid system, and it's personal too. All these agencies know each other, and so they all appreciate the help.
Yeah, very good.
Now, is there anything that we haven't talked about regarding 409 or 408 that you'd like to mention? Any stories with 408 in your past history, John? Anything that jumps to mind? Something?
Did you ever fall asleep while flying?
Never slept while flying. You? No.
But I know it happens.
I've heard that it happens, but I'll tell you what, it's a rush. It's like riding a roller coaster, and I can't fall asleep on a roller coaster. So, you know what? It's kind of surreal looking back on it, but when you're just a kid and you're getting to fly, it's amazing, and I'm excited for all of the crew guys that we have now that are getting to fly. Even on new Helicopter 409, it's going to be a wonderful experience for them, and they're going to hold on to those memories for their entire lives. They'll tell their families about them, and I'm excited for you guys getting to fly. I don't have a single memory that sticks out from working on the Helitac crew, but I can tell you that it was really neat being able to get to fires before anybody else could, When you're hearing the captain riding up front giving the size up of the fire, he's telling people, hey, it's a threat or it's not a threat. This is what we need resources wise. And then you're getting dropped off and you're the first ones there.
And you're going to make a difference.
Yeah, because you're the first ones there. Like
right.
sometimes you put the fire out before anyone else gets there when you're working on a helicopter. And that's a pretty cool experience.
And it doesn't necessarily make the news, right? But you're just doing your job, right?
To keep it out of the news.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
You don't want that fire to have ever happened. You go snuff it out, and there are a lot of fires that get put out that way.
Do you, now that sparks something in my head, do you use a helicopter for maybe a structure fire, like a big warehouse or something? It's not just wildland, right? You could use it Metro Bakersfield, right? Something's happening down there. Depends on the fire, depends on what's burning, that kind of stuff.
It depends on the fire. I mean, when a fire gets into a community, a wildland fire impacts a community, it's not uncommon. I've personally seen, I was on the Woolsey fire down in Ventura, LA County line, and they had their helicopters dropping on structures because they were trying to prevent the spread from structure to structure and that transmission. So it does happen. I mean, if an incident starts as a structure fire, we typically don't. But we've had incidents up here in Tehachapi. We had a attic fire in Alpine Forest, I believe it was a couple seasons ago. And I believe they launched the helicopter just in case it got out of that house and into the mountain.
Oh, right.
And start running.
Just circling around, just waiting, to make certain. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good call. Good management. Ashley, we need to enhance our airport Helitac.
I'm right there with
base,
you.
Right? What's it going to take?
If you give me the okay, we're there.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
I'm giving Ashley a hard time, but I know Ashley and I am Kern County Fire, Aaron, Chief Duncan, and others. We've been talking about this for a little bit, trying to put together a plan. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Great partnership, though, either way.
Yeah.
I want to mention, John, you're now assigned as a PIO, the Public Information Officer for Kern County Fire Department for our region. I was talking with Captain Freeborn, and he was talking about how there's going to be 3 different regions. We are in a region that you've been assigned to, so we're lucky to have you. So, welcome to our Tehachapi region in this new position. I know that you guys, PIOs get pulled on all the time in different directions. And I remember there'd be incidents and Andy be flying up from, Olive Drive to get up here, and so now that you're assigned here to our region, you're going to make an impact. You'll have a lot of interaction with us. So looking forward to working with you.
Looking forward to that too. And, this is my home community as well. And, so I've got a passion for this area. I actually grew up in Tehachapi, and so it's an honor to be back up here. And looking forward to building some relationships with you guys and getting to know you better.
The pressure's on. You're going to have all the answers at your fingertips. I'll
give you answers. I'm not sure if they'll be right or not.
I can be that guy as long as you know where to get the answer.
Well, I
know that.
I just like that Kern County Fire Department continues to evolve and mature and recognize that you can't do everything from headquarters. That the county is so doggone big that you do have to kind of split your resources, and have someone that can step up and be there for media and just to share with the community.
Absolutely.
So, and anything else, Andy? You're also, you're our liaison. You're officially assigned here to the city of Tehachapi to work with us on a close basis, and it's been great working with you for the last couple of years. So, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, thanks for that, Key. I mean, it's like John, I live up here too, and I'm invested in this place. And I've always liked the way you say it, Greg. You say, we want to keep our neighbors healthy, in the city of Tehachapi. You have your footprint, but it's so much bigger. I mean, we don't live in town. We live in the greater Tehachapi area, but we're always coming here. And so this is where it's at. This is the hub of Tehachapi.
This is where it's at.
Yeah.
This is exactly where it's at.
That could be a bumper sticker.
The gateway to everything. All these slangs.
No, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and the city provides, the majority of the schools are here.
The hospital, retail.
Everyone has some reason to come in, whether it's grocery shopping, whatever. That's what the city is for. Yeah. And that allows the rural areas to remain rural. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, we're proud to be part of the Tehachapi community for sure.
Well, again, congratulations. I know how proud you are. It's been a long time coming, and it was a long flight because you guys your crew had to fly it back from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then so every 3 hours they're stopping to refuel. Yeah,
the aircraft's got an endurance just over 3 hours, but they didn't push it too hard. About 2.5 hours they'd stop and top it off, but we thought it would take about 3 days. They made it back in 2. They put some time in, but it's a grind. You're doing about 130 to 140 knots with a tailwind. So it's not like being on a jet. It's a long ride home.
Yeah. Any idea how many stops along the way? How many refuel?
I think they did probably about 7. Somewhere in that
neighborhood. That's not too bad.
I was watching them on Flight Radar.
Yeah.
Just checking, make sure we didn't make a Vegas stop or anything like that. But in all seriousness,
fuel pump's not working here. We're going to be here stuck here a while.
They were able to make it all the way from Tennessee to Colorado the first night, and then they got up the next day and they made it all the way from Colorado to here by Friday night. So they really put in the time. And just got it done. And it was a training flight on the way back, too.
Yeah, they're getting hours in the seat.
Bell provided a pilot who's proficient in the aircraft, and so no time was wasted. It's all training. It was all business. And so, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Greg, anything in closing?
I just appreciate Kern County Fire, Kern County, the operations, the air operations, and everything you guys do to provide, the great service to the city of Tehachapi and the community. So thank you. Today was a good day.
Ashley?
Yeah. No, ditto to what Greg said, and it sounds like he's given the okay to build you a heliTAC base here.
Perfect.
So we're good.
Mm-hmm. What does that consist of? A concrete pad?
To start.
That's a start. Make that
work. John, Andy, thank you so much for taking the time. It's a great day today, so congratulations again on not only the retirement of 408, a great ship that served Kern County, served America overseas, and now the welcoming in of 409. So
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of it.
All right, folks, we appreciate the time you spend with us here on Tehatchapod. If you've got a question for the Kern County Fire Department, you can send it to us at media@tehachapiecityhall.com. Question for one of us here at City Hall. We're happy to answer those questions. We appreciate all the time invested in Tehatchapod as we close out our 5th season, head into the 6th season in 2025.
Congratulations on that, Key.
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
excited. More than 600 episodes. I think we're approaching 700 episodes in 5 years.
I'm looking at all the awards here on the shelf behind me.
Yeah, the bragging shelf back
Yeah,
there.
Tehatchapod has done well.
That's right.
It's a perfect venue to communicate, one of our many venues to communicate to our customers,
Yeah.
our citizens, our taxpayers.
Well, it's successful based on the fact that I think that we talk about Tehachapi, the impact of Tehachapi, our organizations like the fire department, and how we all work together. So it's just to inform our community is what the goal is, and I think we kind of hit that mark.
We do.
So, all right, folks, we'll catch you again soon right here on Tehatchapod.